Today on the podcast, we have CrossFitters here at CFE who are badasses, and we have CrossFitters here at CFE who are badasses at 5 o'clock in the morning. Angie Lovatto is one of those people who's a badass at 5 o'clock in the morning, and a super interesting girl as well. We're excited to interview her for the podcast today to learn more about her story, so stick around.
Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast, where we hear and learn from our coaches, CrossFitters, and Glen Ed community leaders. Now, here are your hosts, Dallas and Greg.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the CrossFit Edwardsville Community Podcast. You heard it, and I'll say it again. This is where we get to learn from our coaches. We get to meet some of our CrossFitters, which we are doing today. So excited about. And then occasionally we'll talk with Glen Ed community leaders and business owners as well. I'm your co-host, Dallas Amston. With Communicate to Succeed, I work with business owners and entrepreneurs on effective communication strategies. Specifically, I work a lot with people who are introverted entrepreneurs. Love working with that group and helping them out. With me, as always, my co-host, G Scale.
What's up, everybody? I'm Coach G, CEO and GM at CrossFit Edwardsville. Today, we have the opportunity to speak with one of our badass 5 a.m. CrossFit females, the great Angie Lovatto. Angie, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Is this your first time ever on a podcast?
It is. Very first.
Excited. Well, hopefully we can set the standard so high that it's an impossible act to follow, Ange.
I know that'll happen. That'll happen for sure.
So Angie, for our audience here, Angie officially became a part of our CrossFit Edwardsville community on April 29th of 2019. So part of our CrossFit onboarding program and the elements and longevity classes. According to our Zen Planner system, in the 3 years she's been CrossFitting with us, she has amassed an astounding 428 confirmed CrossFit sessions, including many group sessions, private coaching sessions, and many sessions at that Thunderdome twilight hour 5 a.m. workout time spot, which makes it even more impressive. And Angie is a professional woman, the Director of Human Resources for KCI Construction. Today, we will learn more about Angie, the CrossFitter, and the woman outside the gym. So, Dallas, you want to start us up here?
Yeah, we'll start with some of the easier questions, Angie. We'll first of all, over 400 CrossFit sessions. Congratulations on that. With that many under your belt, you've got some perspective at this point. So we're going to ask you first, what would you say are maybe your all-time favorite CrossFit workouts?
Anything that has deadlifts or cleans, I love. Anything like that. Those two things, if I see those in the workout, I'm like, I have got to be there.
Love that.
I have to go, period.
Yeah, getting heavy crap off the floor is a great way to think about it.
Absolutely.
You probably loved today's workout then.
I did. I loved it. Yeah. Well, maybe not the burpees, but anyway, I love all the workouts, to be honest,
So let's flip the script here, Ange, to say, what's the hardest CrossFit workout that you've done? Because over 400 workouts under the belt, you've seen some things. So, what fills your heart with dread when you see it come up on the Sugar WOD programming?
Overhead squats, which is because I haven't mastered it, and I don't like the assault bike. I see that and I'm like, oh man. I have to, but I also know the ones that I hate, I have to go to anyway because, it just makes you better, so.
Right. We've said that on the podcast before, that it's probably the workout that you most don't want to do that offers the most benefit to you as an athlete, the greatest transformation.
Yes.
And I will say, Angie, I am a little surprised to hear that overhead squats are the ones that strike fear in your heart, because to our audience here, you may not know, Angie is fantastically flexible as a weightlifter. Her positioning is incredible across the board. So I would say most people that can overhead squat, Angie, you're among the greats.
Really? Well, my problem is the shoulder first. I have the shoulder issue, and so I don't feel I don't feel like I can. I don't know. I'm not very secure. I don't feel secure probably in that.
Stable? Maybe not stable?
Yeah, stable. And my shoulder gets a little wacky, and So I just kind of, maybe I baby it more than I should, push through the fear perhaps, but yeah. So, I don't know. That one's a hard one. The hard one.
Well, let me ask you. So let me ask you then maybe an easier one. So yes, I'm with you on the shoulder rotation. For me, my right shoulder rotation is just for garbage. But you mentioned some of the stuff already, deadlifts and cleans. But is there a specific WOD when you see it on the board or a specific exercise that you get really excited about? You're like, man, not only do I have to be there, I have to be there early and ready.
Oh my gosh. Well, to be honest with you, and I swear this is the truth, there really isn't like a favorite one. I like them all. And if I miss, I'm aggravated. I'm pissed off. Sorry, but that's really the thing. I would say if I see a workout that has a lot of clean squats or front squats or any kind of squat or lunges or those sorts of things that work the lower body, especially the legs, I got to be there. I mean, I'm excited about that. I'm like, oh, I've got to make sure I can get to that one. Whether it's 5 a.m. or 6:15 or whatever, I will make sure I can go.
I love that. I will say too, Angie, you and I have riffed on this a little bit, off camera before. I find the most rewarding workouts are the ones that are most leg intensive. I think it's the most rewarding. I walk away from it feeling the most accomplished. Is that how it is for you?
It is. Yes. Yep. That's a favorite body. The lower body is my favorite part to work. I don't know why that is. Right. Maybe it's because they're the greatest muscles. I don't know.
Sure. And lunges are kind of awesome.
Yes.
So there's that.
Yes,
so
they are.
Let's ask you this, and so you enjoy the best of both worlds, right? You have the group CrossFit thing as well as the solo private coaching thing. And how would you describe the two? Like compare and contrast for you. What is it for you that's good with both?
The group coaching or the group classes are, the 5 a.m. group or whether it's a 6 o'clock group, you get familiar or you get to know the people. And so they're there. It's just kind of a fun thing to do with everybody. You get to know people personally and they kind of, especially Katie in the morning, she, we're half each other. She could be my daughter. And so we give each other a hard time about that. And I'm like, no, you can do heavier than that. So we kind of push each other in that way, which is kind of fun. And give each other the appropriate shit. And then, but on the private side or the one-on-one coaching, it's nice because you're kind of focused on just you and it's a little more specific and you get one-on-one attention from a coach. So it's targeted. So that I would say that's the difference. I love them both equally, but for those reasons.
Gotcha. Well, you're fairly veteran at this point. So let me ask you this. What would you think is the number one mistake that you see newbie CrossFitters making?
Oh, a couple. They go out of the gate too hard. They're out of gas in 10 minutes. I mean, because here's what you think. You think, 10 minutes, I can do anything for 10 minutes. No. Not CrossFit. 10 minutes is a long time.
Right.
20 minutes is a long time, right?
Right.
I would also say probably form sometimes, but I can tell you that the coaches are excellent at watching everybody and correcting, which is really great. The move with excellence thing, so I would say those two things probably.
So then for Angie, what is your number one goal in fitness now? What do you most want to achieve? It might be something in terms of how you look, how you feel, how you perform, some kind of, I don't know, I want to do a Spartan race. What is it for you? What's the most exciting and what do you most get excited about achieving in fitness?
It's just getting, honestly, stronger and better and faster. It's just that simple. I mean, if I'm not making progress or if I feel I'm stuck, then I get a little frustrated. If there's not continual progress, even though it might be small, this last week it was a 190 back squat. Well, that was a new PR for me. I get so stinking excited about that because I'm making progress, right?
Right.
So I would say just continual progress. And I hope to keep doing that. I'm, older, all right? And so I have to keep in mind that I'm not going to be maybe able to do as heavy as I would now later. And that kind of bothers me because heavy and I don't know, I like the heavy weights and I just feel strong.
Gee, it feels like we need to maybe attack some myths about age and weightlifting.
Right, maybe so. I kind of feel like age is like people use age as an excuse. Oh, I'm going to do X, so I better not do that. And I don't. I feel like age in your head makes you limit yourself.
Yeah.
You know? So
I like to think of it as an advantage. Like, Angie, you and I, we've done enough CrossFit workouts that we know how to pace a workout. We know how to strategize a workout. We're wily now. We have wisdom that the younger CrossFitters don't. So that the age could be our advantage in this, right?
More wisdom.
Wisdom, right. And I also say too that it's interesting how you describe like what is most exciting for you about fitness, because I think that one of the cool things that CrossFit does is it allows all of us to see ourselves as athletes, which is partly being a CrossFit athlete, part of it is being an athlete for life, right? Yeah. And so as athletes, we care about our performance in the gym, and it allows us to see fitness as a much richer experience than just, well, the scale says X, and there's more to being a fit person than just what the scale says. And I like that. It gives us more perspective on how we can make progress even as we age.
I totally agree with that, because you learn so much about yourself through fitness. It's not just what you said, the scale and the weight, and it's the internal stuff that really, from a growth standpoint, you're I accomplished something, or I'm struggling with something. You just go to the gym and push through it, it's a confidence builder in different ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so holistically, I look at it, CrossFit or fitness, in that way too. Like, it's great for me mentally. That's the 5 a.m. When I miss a 5 a.m. class, I'm just kind of off. I love going. That's my day, right? I'm in the best mood. I listen to a podcast on the way to work. I worked on my body, and now I'm going to feed my mind with something good, and then to work I go. Yeah.
Dallas has a follow-up question for you, Ange, but I'm curious just to know, what is that podcast you listened to on the way to work? Just curious.
It was, John Gordon. Do you know who John Gordon is?
I don't. Do you, Dallas?
I don't know his name, no.
He is one of my favorite authors. Oh my gosh. I've read all of his books. So he has a podcast, and he had a speaker who also wrote a book, and his name's Ed, and I cannot for the life of me pronounce his last name, but he's a young guy who has been an athlete, an entrepreneur, public speaker, and John Gordon is all about, positivity and mindset and, love and, and his books are awesome, and they're small, so I don't get overwhelmed with this, so they're great. I love that.
So wait, what is the genre of books then for John Gordon?
Oh, God, I don't know. Self-help, probably, I would say.
Yeah, it looks like positivity, teamwork, and leadership. He's the author of more than 20 books. Dude is prolific.
He is, so I'm telling you, like this. One of the books, The Seed, I read, which I read that and I fell in love. It was the first one I read, and I fell in love with it. I was like, oh my gosh, this guy's great. I ordered like the next 5. And The Carpenter is good. The Bus one is really good. Oh, they're great. They just give you kind of a positive perspective on life and challenges, and life throws stuff at you, just depending upon what your mindset and how you look at it.
And if I'm looking at the same guy, he's got a whole set of children's books as well.
He does.
Like Thank You and Gratitude at the End of the Day.
Yes.
The Energy Bus for kids.
I love the Energy Bus for adults.
I got to check this guy out now. All right.
You would love it.
This episode brought to you by John Gordon Books.
It's great.
And John is J-O-N. I'm just going to say J-O-N Gordon, but
J-O-N Gordon.
J-O-N Gordon. So this topic may come up again a little bit later in our conversation, Ange, because we did want to ask you about, mentors, people that had spoken into your life. So this may come up again, but Dallas has another question. We're actually going to go back in time a little bit. Dallas, go ahead and cue it up, my dude.
Sure. Well, so Angie, just a couple of kind of a 2-part question. Number one, how did you find out about CrossFit, Edwardsville specifically? And then how and why did you get started working out here at CFE?
I was actually on my way. So I just left the job at 20. I was at a job for 22 years, and I left and started. I was getting ready to start my new journey here at KCI, and I had a 2-week in between stint. And I had been working out closer to my other job, and I needed to find a new place. And I was actually traveling back from vacation in the car, and I stumbled. I knew a CrossFit gym, and I saw CrossFit with your, CFE, and I thought, I'm going to try that out. And that was really just that simple. It looked like a great place to get started in CrossFit. And so that's what I did. And I forgot the second question.
Well, just kind of like how and why you got started, but you kind of jumped into that a little
honestly,
bit.
From a fitness standpoint, my dad died when he was 60 from smoking. And so when you watch somebody go through treatment, cancer, and you live that with somebody, it's you kind of take a new perspective on life. And from that point, I thought, there's no way. And I used to be a smoker a long time ago, and I quit a long time ago, but that kind of changed my whole perspective on, this is not what I want to be doing. And so I just kind of got into it, and I had an Olympic lifting coach for a while, and I loved that whole type of exercise. And so I thought CrossFit would be a great fit for me.
Well, you heard it there, G. She had an Olympic lifting coach. That's why she enjoys the deadlifts and the clean, and that's why you enjoy pulling the bar off the floor.
That's why she moves so well.
Yeah, I'm sitting here going, wow, an Olympic weightlifting coach. So, so Angie, what's your craziest or wildest or funniest memory of CFE?
Oh gosh. Okay. Well, 5 a.m. Remember Katie I told you about? She's half my age. And she said to me, she was going one day in class, she goes, oh, my Lanta. And I said, hey, have you ever drank that? She goes, what is my Lanta? And right? And I said, you don't know what my Lanta is? So basically the entire group there, Coach Bailey, nobody knew what my Lanta was. And so we actually were cracking up about it because I'm like, wow, I am really the oldest lady in here. And so I started this, but I had no idea that's what it was. I just thought it was, my Lanta. And no, it's stuff that you use for a bellyache that my mom used to drink a million years ago. It was just, I don't know. We were chuckling about that for at least 10 or 15 minutes because I'm like, oh my God, I'm the oldest, and you all don't know what my Lanta is. I can't.
I find this very surprising because, our average CrossFitter is not a 19-year-old. Average CrossFitter is between the age of 25 and 50. And,
I know. Katie's 25, I guess. And it just surprised me that she had never heard of my Lanta. So then after that, I came in the next day and asked her, I don't even remember. I was like, do you know what that is? I'm like, okay, phew, good. I'm glad you know what that is. I wish I could remember what it was, but I was cueing her the next few days. Yeah. Hey, what's this? Yeah.
Making a reference to see if she knew it.
Yeah. It was actually funnier probably when you were there because we were all I was like, you guys don't really know what that is? Right. So that was kind of funny.
So, Ange, you've been at CrossFit for a little over 3 years now. What keeps you coming back to CFE? What is it for you?
Well, the workouts, of course. The people, the group. What is really great about CrossFit is the energy, the positivity, the teamwork that's there, that people just support each other. I haven't experienced any negativity ever. I love that we start with prayer. I love that we end with a positive note. I love that if you do a lift and you didn't get it, nope, go down and we're going to end on a positive lift. It's all those things.
Yeah.
Everything in between. It's great. Yeah. All those things.
That's awesome. Well, related to that question, one of the things we always ask is, we have 3 goals with CFE: look better, feel better, perform better. Mm-hmm. So what would you say are the best benefits for you to doing CrossFit? How's it changed the way you look, feel, or perform as an athlete, as a woman, as a business professional?
Golly. Well, I can tell you, my job's pretty stressful. So from a stress standpoint, it helps me keep my myself in check. It kind of relaxes me, a little bit.
Yeah.
I would say just I'm more confident in how I look. I remember saying to G, I just want to, look better naked, or I don't remember exactly what our conversation was when I was interviewed there. I just want to look better and feel good about how I look. But honestly, over the course of time, I don't really focus on that anymore about how I look because I am who I am and my body is what it is. And I'll just keep working and I mean, it's just, I just keep feeling myself in that way. And so it's all of those things. I don't.
No, there's a really intriguing thing that occurs. And G, you might be able to give better percentages of this, but a lot of people start with the look better.
Yeah.
Like, I think we all want to start with the cosmetic change, but there's an internal transformation that occurs as well. So we want to look better, but then when we start feeling better, performing better, getting more confidence just in our swagger as well, and kind of like that daily beast mode of I accomplished something. I think that's important.
I would agree with that totally. It's all the things that we talked about before, which is fitness isn't necessarily about the physical aspect. It's all the internal things that kind of come for full circle. You start out with the physical and I want to lose weight and lose inches, and then it just helps you be a better you know, through the transformation, if you will. And then you end up focusing on the things I think that are more important in life. Not that looking good isn't important, but I think it's in terms of life and being a holistic person, there's just other things that are more important from a human standpoint. That's all.
Sure. We like to dive a bit deeper into like the holistic picture of Angie Lovatto. So going back in time now, Angie, tell us about your upbringing in childhood, like where you're from, what your family was like, any special memories that really shaped you as a person.
Well, I can tell you that we were poor. My family divorced when I was 3. My parents did, and then they married again and again. It's kind of a long story, but I would say my dad raised me. My mom was in and out of my life. So I think, and my dad was, kind of ran through jobs, great guy. But I think being in that environment and not really, having money, or I just had to work hard for everything. And so I think nothing was ever given to me ever. And so just because we didn't have any money. So I think it just helped me work hard and know that nothing in life is going to be given to you without hard work. And so I just keep going. I can be a workaholic, that's not good either, but, but I would say that mostly just being a hard worker. I didn't want to be, lazy is kind of a thing that bugs me about people. If you're lazy, like that's an excuse, and I don't want to be lazy. And so.
Well, tell us a little bit about your family now then, your significant others, other family, future family aspirations, whatever it might be.
Well, I have a son who's been married 24 years. I have a son who's 21. He's getting married next month, which is crazy. To his high school sweetheart. I know.
That's fun.
I know.
We're getting you ready for a wedding, Ange.
I know. Well, it was kind of sudden, honestly. It was supposed to be next year. And so he says, we're going to move it up. And, I had to ask, and I know I shouldn't maybe say this, but I'm like, is she pregnant? He goes, no, Mom, we haven't even had sex yet. I'm like, okay. Because, they're kind of very religious, the two of them. And we go to church, right? But I'm like, okay. But I had to ask,
Oh, sure. Yeah. I found a lot of people have, it's a really wedding heavy year because everything's post pandemic, and a lot of people delayed their weddings by 2 years. But now people who delayed and then waited till say we'll do 2023 are pushing them up now. So I'm actually seeing I've seen 3 people that I know push up their weddings to this year because they were like, we're done being engaged. We've been engaged for a year and a half already.
Yeah. Right. Well, that's kind of what he said. My son said to me, we've been together since we were sophomores. We've been talking about getting married. We're ready to start our life. And she's only got a year left of school. And so why not? I'm like, well, okay. So he's moved out. We're empty nesters, and that's kind of fun. But he was never home. Yeah. I mean, so it doesn't really feel any different, except, maybe we can walk around in our underwear or something. I don't know. But that's
well, that's why you're doing the CrossFit.
Exactly right.
We've gotten to the heart of the matter here.
There it is. Empty nesters want to walk around in their underwear.
That's right. That's great.
That's the first thing I'm going to do when Zai moves out.
Like G doesn't walk around without a shirt 3/4 of the time anyway.
Totally, right?
Like the people, I can always tell the people who have done some form of competitive CrossFitting because they never wear shirts if they don't have to.
Right? Like we feel all claustrophobic wearing full clothes.
Cotton around your collar is just too much.
This is formal wear for me right now, wearing this Solid Fitness shirt.
That's awesome. So Angie, tell us a little bit about your career as well. You're an HR director.
Yep.
Give us a little what that's like.
Oh, well, the construction is a blast. I've been in it forever. I just, I don't know where to even get started, except that, I love people really, and which is why I got into the HR role anyway. And so there's all different types of people, and the people are what really make up who we are.
Yeah.
And so, coaching I do with different people too, from a development standpoint, which is just phenomenal. And then you have the, personnel issues that are not so phenomenal. But honestly, I love what I do. And it's just the people. There's all the, the compliance components and the, the necessary evils of the role, which are okay. But anything that has to do with development or training or recruiting or, promoting and all of that stuff is just really fun to see and be a part of. And we're growing as a company too, which is great. It's been really exciting. We've gone from like 89 million to 140 million so far. So we're from last year to now. And
that's awesome.
Crazy. Yeah. Which
is that why the cost of lumber is so much? Because of you guys?
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. But
are you the reason why my friend is waiting for tile?
Yes.
You guys got the primary order.
Well, I can tell you where you'll see us a lot of, and that is on the highway. We're a big, heavy civil contractor. So in St. Louis, like 55 and the Poplar Street Bridge widening project, we did that. So we're all over the city and the state. But it's been fun. It's been a lot of fun.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So let's step away from the career thing for a minute and tell us about your hobbies, your interests outside the gym. Like besides the CrossFit, what do you do for fun? Tell us about your friends. This is a great opportunity for you to shout out your people.
Oh my gosh.
To the Angie Lovatto community.
Oh man, I have, anything outside. So working in the yard, gardening, swimming, and biking. I love to be outside, period. So that's perfect for me, hiking, that kind of thing. God, I have a kind of a small circle of friends, really. And Krista Pro is one of my besties of all time. I'd like to get her to CrossFit, but she won't come, but maybe one of these days.
Shout out to her.
Right.
Call her out again. Let's go. Let's all call her out.
Krista, yeah, that's what I'm gonna call her. Listen, you need to listen to this podcast to get your butt to CrossFit. She's like, no, I won't do it. Anyway,
we have our invite. We promise there's nothing to be scared of. Everybody is friendly and chill and cool.
That's what I tell her, but she's on her own journey, so I'll just keep pushing her. But I really just have a small circle of friends. She's my best friend. I have a couple of friends, Sue, Ellison, and Michelle Spires, that I still am in touch with from where I used to work before. We go on a girls trip every year, and we're, I'm the youngest of the three of us, and so that's kind of fun, But I don't know. That's kind of really. I hope I'm not missing anybody. That's really it. My sisters I hang out with once in a while. They're younger, but other than that, it's just me and my better half, Joe, at home, and that's it. I'm kind of pretty boring, honestly. I work.
Oh, that's not boring. I love everything about that. That's my type of lifestyle. Small circle, few friends. Yeah.
I just kind of like simple. Simple. Yeah.
Amen to that.
Mm-hmm.
Simple's always good.
I know.
You mentioned John Gordon.
Yep.
Earlier in the conversation, and I've already favorited like 8 things here. So thank you for that.
Yeah.
But are there any, obviously that's one of the people you study. Are there any mantras or mottos or philosophies that you really think guide you in life?
I think a couple of things. I hate to say just do it, but I think what I always say to myself is you're your own worst enemy. Like you're in your way, like get out of your way. Like sometimes I think I say to myself, Angie, you're in your own way, or you're your own worst enemy sometimes. And so we have, as people, have, control over everything, really. If you bet, whether it be how we respond to things in life or where we're headed or how we think about things. And so sometimes, I can get in my own way in my own head. Like, and I'm like, get out of your way, Angie. And I will say that to yourself, stop it, get out of your way out loud. When I know I'm overthinking or overanalyzing or stuck on something, And I just have to say, no, I'm only in competition with myself. And I will say that to myself too, like even at CrossFit, even though healthy competition is fun, when I go there, I don't think, oh, I got to lift heavy as this girl or that girl. It's I'm in competition with myself. And so that's what I remember the most, those things. Get out of your way, and the person in the mirror is keeping you from doing what you were made to do.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people would resonate with that message, Angie, because I think it's very easy for a lot of people. Our average CrossFitter is that they're highly educated, they're college educated, they're working professionals. There's very few stay-at-home anythings here. A lot of us are very thoughtful, cerebral people, and it's very easy for us to get caught up in our own heads
Totally.
and start talking ourselves out of good ideas or overthinking things. And sometimes it's just, I'm not going to think, I'm just going to drive to the gym and just do what the coach tells me. And that's one of the things that I like, is I don't have to think about what the warm-up's going to be, what the workout's going to be. Bailey writes it. I just show up and follow the plan. I like how it simplifies life for me. You know
yes,
what I mean?
I do. And I love that. That's another reason why, right? I know the workouts are going to be great and challenging and fun. And I just show up and go, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Oh man, burpees? What?
Why do we all hate burpees so much?
I know, they're horrible.
About burpees.
But they're so good for you. I just keep saying, steady wins the race, Angie, like today.
It seems like programmers go, well, we could do this movement and this movement. What else should we do? Burpees. That's easy. It's almost as though it's like, we need something to fill. Throw burpees at them. They'll hate that enough.
But like the way the program is written, you think to yourself, oh, this isn't going to be bad. And then you're like dying at the end. You're like, holy moly, that was way worse than I thought it was going to be. Or how they're stacked together. I mean, it's just perfect. Sure. A perfect combination of cardio and muscle and yada yada yada. So it's good. The lung burners, I'm like, so
it's the best of all worlds. The best of strength, best of engine, best of cardio.
Yeah.
And put into combinations that are simple and savage.
Yep. Agreed.
So then, Angie, getting back to like the thought processes that guide you. If you could make only one statement to the world, what would it be? Or to put it another way, if you had to choose one thing to say on a billboard that's going to be seen by thousands or millions of people, what would that billboard say?
I would think it would just say, be kind, And what I mean by that is the world is can be not a great place sometimes. And I think, if we can just be kind to each other in any situation, then I think we'll be good. I think it's that. It's just people can be, there's stressors in life and pressures, and, we sometimes, don't behave the way we want to. And so I think if we're just be humble and kind, you're good. That's really it. I mean, we're all human beings, and that's it.
I do find myself wishing that somebody would put that on a billboard over like the main roads in St. Louis as a reminder to everybody not to be a hostile dickhead driving down the road.
Exactly. Exactly. Like I have, I'm one of those, like, I love short sayings and like, I have these daily readers. John Maxwell, by the way, is another excellent guy. God.
Shout out John Maxwell.
He's great. I have his daily reader and a couple other of his books. But,
Yeah.
I read that every day. And it's just, I don't know, they're short and simple, and he always has a thought-provoking question. I'm like, I'll ponder on that today. But I love the easy, short things. Yeah. Simple.
Love it. Well, let me ask you this. As you look forward kind of into the future, the next phase of life, or what excites you? What are you most looking forward to?
Honestly, being 50, I think, okay, I've got another, 12 years to work if I'm lucky, I don't know, kind of just that sort of phase in my life. I still want to stay active, of course. And so I'm sort of thinking about that, like what's that next chapter going to be? Because I am a workaholic, and I worry a little bit about what am I going to do when I don't have a job. I've had a job since I was 16. And the 2 weeks in between where I was and when I came here, it was the weirdest feeling. Like, oh my God, I'm not employed. This is really weird. Weird. That's going to be a real adjustment for me. So I'm thinking about what am I going to do to keep myself busy so I don't go crazy,
Right.
You're a highly productive person. I'm sure you'll find the thing.
Yeah, I'll find that thing. And then, my problem is I don't relax enough. That's another part of my problem. I try, but.
Yeah, so many of us at CFE, we are typically by nature, we're like very type A driven people, high performers, high achievers. And we're like, the minute we don't have something to achieve, we're like, what do we do with ourselves?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm lost. I have no anchor. I have nothing to anchor me in the sea.
Yes, agreed. Totally agree.
I'm sure there'll be some productive outlet, like Dallas said, some productive outlet for your energy, your focus, your time, your attention.
Yes.
Maybe you'll do 2-a-days in CrossFit also when you get to that point.
Yeah, I'm hoping. I mean, there's a Vicky. I'm sure you know Vicky, right?
Yeah, she works out with me at 9:30 a.m.
See, like she's sometimes my Saturday partner. I haven't seen her in a while, and I think, okay, she's 60, I'm 50, and when we're doing a partner run or something, I'm like, wow, man, girl, you're my inspiration to be doing this at 60.
Yep,
right. Vicky's a Tasmanian devil.
I know, right?
I said to Vicky many times, I want to be you when I grow up, for real.
I know. She's just so positive and fun and adorable, and.
I know. We'd be in the middle of like an extremely arduous workout and just you smiling and high-fiving people. I'm like, I want to be that.
That's great. And we're all dying. And she's like, keep going, Angie. You're doing a great job. Thank you. She's funny. Yeah.
We all want to be Vicky.
Yes.
For sure.
Tell her I said hello when you see her next.
So, we want to say to all of our audience, thanks for tuning in. I want to say a great big thank you to Angie for coming on the podcast to share her story today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It was fun. I appreciate it.
Yeah, really appreciate you.
Dallas, you want to close us out here?
Sure. I can do the closeout. So, hey, everybody, if you obviously you heard one great story here, but we have so many awesome, wonderful stories. If you want to check us out on all the socials, you can find us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all of that at CrossFit Edwardsville. You can also throw CrossFit Edwardsville into ye old Google machine and check out all of the 5-star reviews that we've collected over the years. You'll see that it's a great community. When you are ready, go to our website, CrossFitEdwardsville.com. Again, that's CrossFitEdwardsville.com. And it's very easy. We just want to talk to you about your goals in fitness and in life. Book a no-sweat conversation. Easy conversation with you and one of our coaches so that you can decide if CrossFit Edwardsville might be a great next step in your not only fitness journey, but also life journey. And that's just booking a no sweat conversation. You'll see it. It's the big button at CrossFitEdwardsville.com. And Angie, I'll say one more time as well. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us.
Yeah, thank you. It's been fun. I appreciate it's been great.
Yeah, appreciate you. So Coach G, you want to sing us out with the final song?
Everybody, have yourselves an amazing, beautiful, and blessed day.